Hey, Local 5, it's Dave. Coming to you today in this wonderful, beautiful Colorado afternoon where it's raining to probably bring you one of the most important messages that I've brought to date in my 10 years president of this local. First of all, I want to let you know that we are, in fact, dealing with all of the issues behind the scenes. And I sent out or attached whatever it was, that piece that came out in the Gazette yesterday, which basically hopefully calmed a little bit as far as the nerves to show the fact that the city is acknowledging that we will have a right to go forward in a collective bargaining campaign. We're just going to have to make an adjustment in what our approach is going to be. And obviously, it's not going to adhere to Senate Bill 25 of the Colorado Firefighter Safety Act. In doing that, what has transpired, what has kind of gone forward is actually going to benefit us in the long run. So I need everybody to really kind of relax, kind of keep pace with us. Understand that if you have questions or concerns, so please don't take initially to the airwaves to voice your concerns. Contact somebody, especially off the executive board. Please don't hesitate to call me so that we can get some clarifications out there on exactly what's going on behind the scenes. Things are going good. We're in a good place. And I don't say that just because I'm the president. I say that because there's a lot of really hardworking individuals on the executive board and some others who have thrown in some time and effort to make and pursue what has been the motivation for our local as of late, which is a collective bargaining bill to go forward. We need to come together, probably like no other time in the history, or at least in the recent history of our local, outside of the fact that we do a tremendous job in supporting our IAFF Fallen Firefighter Memorial, to come together for a common cause that's to benefit us and our department. We need to come together as a union. And there's probably a reason why they picked that word to describe our organization, because that's literally what we're going to need to do. We can't accomplish what we have upcoming as individuals, or even a small group of members within an executive board or a collective bargaining committee. We're going to need the participation of everybody within this organization to move forward. I really wish I was a tremendous motivational speaker like the General President Shakeberger. I love when he gets everybody kind of fired up. I wish I have that gift. I don't, but I'm going to try to do the best that I can to convey to you exactly where we're at and how important this next step in the process is. We have worked at, in the past 6 months, making connections, relationships, making an impact on local elections, making an impact with politicians, making an impact in connection with our state partners and our international partners. We've demonstrated some awesome steps and accomplished some processes that were necessary for us to pursue a collective bargaining campaign, the last of which is the completion of the SNAP poll that we just undertook with a Washington, D.C. based polling firm that literally went out there and the polling questions vetted by our executive board, worked with our international political team, really challenged the surveys as that information went out, in the fact that it wasn't fluff. It wasn't easy. They know what kind of competitive process this is going to be as we move forward. And that survey reflected that nature of how competitive this process is going to be, and asked the tough questions, framed it up in a couple different ways to get somewhat of our initial marketing and messaging direction on that. All of that being said, regardless of the fact that we've got a wide range, broad, strong support within this community for us as firefighters, as the Colorado Springs Fire Department. And we've got the ability to deliver a message that's going to make us successful in pursuing a collective bargaining campaign. As a matter of fact, those numbers are so favorable in our message that the state and the international are not only coming alongside us to demonstrate their support, they're excited about pursuing this. We are Local 5. If you really don't know what that means, please don't hesitate to call me. This would be an amazing, amazing opportunity for us, and especially in our centennial year next year, to finally achieve what was the initial vision of the people who established this great organization, which was to protect the people and establish fair and equitable treatment and provide the proper equipment for us to do our jobs. Almost 100 years ago, people in this town, Colorado Springs, believe it or not, had the foresight to see that that was necessary, because obviously the consistent or the continuation of the history of this city's treatment of its employees dates back a very long time as well. So we're potentially going to put into place something that nobody said could happen. Nobody believed that we had a chance. We've got the numbers, we've got the stats, and we've got partners that are excited and willing to come alongside us for probably the one and only chance that we will have to do this, at least for a considerable distance into the future. And we are literally on the precipice right now of being able to just absolutely control our own destiny. Literally control our own destiny. I know there's been an incredible amount of apathy about things going on. I see fourth-class firefighters, love you guys, nothing against you, but the only people that they could get to volunteer for special events are those folks that are coming on brand new on the department, because we can't get anybody else involved. Participation rate in so many things has been difficult for all of us, and I get it. We're working too many hours. The nature of our position and the lack of respect that we've been given from our city is overwhelming. And the fact that we just are really focused on a lot of other issues besides what used to be the enthusiastic center of our lives, which is our job, because we took great pride in who we are as firefighters, and that has been diminished a little bit, I think, because of the lack of respect that we've been demonstrated by the city. This could all change. We need to buckle down and be able to do something that they said that nobody's going to be able to do. We're going to need to come together. We're going to need to collectively, hopefully not get struck by lightning in the middle of this rainstorm. And we're going to need to work strong and understand a purpose to literally establish the capability for this fire department literally to determine its own destiny. Literally, we're at that precipice right now. I can't tell you how huge this is. But in that, what we're going to need from you is on August 15th, 16th, and 17th, we're going to have a special meeting, 3 nights, one big meeting, continuous meeting. We made it 3 nights so that we try to get everybody's input and involvement. 6:30 p.m. at the union office. We need your participation to come out to vote and support what's going to be necessary both financially and physically to understand what we're going to need to move forward for us to be successful in this next step. I'm personally imposing a requirement of at least 51% of our membership. So we're going to have 180 folks show up over a 3-night period. That's something that I put into place because I know that the folks that are on the executive board have worked incredibly hard up until this point in time to try to make sure that every requirement and everything that we needed to put into place was successful. Every T was crossed, every I was dotted. We have done that. And we will continue to work hard for you to make sure that we're successful in going forward. And we're super excited about our potential. But if I don't have your participation, if I can't count on you coming out and making a commitment for one night out of 3 for a special meeting in August, then I'm not going to be able to count on you to come out and help get us across the finish line next year when a campaign hits. And we're really going to need to have your participation. We're not going to be able to write a check and expect this thing to get across the finish line. This is going to take some dedication and it's going to take some work. But let me ask you, because let me put it in this perspective. I'm missing $5,500 out of my check this year. And actually, it's probably a little bit more because the numbers that they gave to us earlier aren't clearly as bad as the numbers that they recently gave to us. $5,500 out of my check this year. At my advanced age, you know that's going to affect me in my retirement for the rest of my life. Yes, I'm passionate about this. And in reality, if we're super successful and all of this goes through, this is going to be the best thing that you're going to be able to do to look back and to give a short amount of commitment, a little bit of your time, a little bit of your money to make a statement that the equipment that you ride on, that the expectation that every morning when you get up at work and you want to go home, that somebody isn't standing there on a loudspeaker telling you that you can't. That they respect you and making sure that your stations are adequately prepared and your equipment is ready to go. That it's not 15 plus years old, and we wonder if it's actually going to make it to a call. This truly, truly is one of the most important times for this union that we've seen in recent history. So I need you. I need those of you who have been vocally supportive and participating up until this point in time outside of the executive board to talk around the kitchen table, to motivate your fellow firefighters to make sure that they're going to come out and participate. Because this executive board and even a committee appointed by this board to pursue collective bargaining are not enough to make this commitment successful. If we don't have your participation, this issue is going to fall flat right on the floor. And I got to tell you, there's going to be a lot of disappointed people, not only in those that have the vision to see what we could be so successful at, but for those of us that have worked diligently for the mission and the vision of what those in this organization have desired to have. But in reality, if you pass up this opportunity and you're going to look back on your life in 15 years down the road when it's all corkscrewed into the ground and you're like, man, you know what I mean? If it just was that one opportunity, that one time that I possibly could have made a difference, that stepping up to the plate, raising my hands, putting my foot forward, I could have made the difference for not only myself, but maybe for my kids as we see more and more legacy firefighters come on to continue proud tradition of their families. I'm asking for the commitment for the folks that have been around a few years and obviously for the youngsters and absolutely everybody in between. August 15th, 16th, and 17th, 6:30 p.m. at the union office. Plan to come, plan to participate. We're going to get out to the stations of the executive board. If you didn't get to see enough of us as we were out collecting signatures for the Colorado Senate bill, you're going to get a chance to come out, or that we're going to come out and see you again to personally encourage you to come to the meetings to answer any questions that you have, and to let you know just exactly how important this is. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot emphasize enough. This is truly, truly, truly the opportunity that you will have in our lifetime to truly grab our own destiny by the tail, steer it across the finish line in a successful effort to establish the right for public safety to become a priority in this city and not an afterthought behind the developers and the power players who would rather use their money and the citizens' money to bid and do their will as opposed to take care of the people who are taking care of the citizens of this city. I appreciate your time. I apologize for it being a little long-winded. I'm hoping that if you have any questions, that you don't hesitate to give us a call. And again, look forward to us coming out to your stations in the next month. And thank you for what you do.